Okay, for the past 2 weeks, we was working on the newsletter. So what we did is we used our master page, we insert the headings here, we insert page mark underneath here from the master page. And then we insert a text. We use a text thread to thread the text from page 1 to page 2. And if you want to see the text thread, you go to Wheel Extra Show Text Thread. You will see the relationship. All right. And also, let me turn off this thread. Text thread. We also insert images, and we learned how to insert the same size of a frame image. We also learned how to insert a caption, okay, underneath the picture, which is very useful. We also use the tab to learn how to line up with the different words, and we also use the drop cap to enlarge the first word or the few letters at the beginning of the paragraph or sentence. Then we learned how to change the text or the frame into like have a little curve, more curved thing is from this yellow thing. So we added corners, and we also learned to add the most important paragraph styles. So we use the indent, we use the space before, space after. We also use the shading to define the paragraph styles. Okay, those are the paragraph styles we used during the practice. So the next thing I want to see, because what I pull up at the beginning of this semester, I asked you guys to pull up not only paragraph style and character style. What are those differences? So it's pretty much straightforward. The paragraph style, for instance, if I'm saying, okay, I want, let me to make it a little bigger for this paragraph, and I'm going to say, so we also talk about the different way to do the zoom in. You can either use this zoom tool, or you can use this zoom function, or you can use the power zoom, which is from the space bar, and then redo is using the space bar and the right click. Adding this, right click and zoom this in or out, use the little wheels. Okay, so I'm going to just focus on this. So I use the power zoom and I hit enter, so I create another paragraph. So which I'm going to do is, using the text tool, I'm going to select this. I'm going to highlight this paragraph. So what I'm going to do is, on the paragraph style, I come here and create a new paragraph style, or use your Alt and Option, click this one, open the option. So I'm going to call this, instead of this one, I'm not using shading, I'm using the underline style. So I'm going to make sure you apply style to selection, so this way you can see the result here. Paragraph rule, and also I want to add a ruler above this paragraph and say on. offset. So I'm going to use offset to push on top, and then remember this number is 0.1875. That's a rule below. So I'm going to, yep, okay, 0.1825. Okay, so if you want to change color, you can totally change from here. For instance, I change to green, and if you want to tint it, so from here, 80%, then 40%, okay. So I'm going to change this to the same color. So I'm going to use the 80% as well. Instead of paragraph shading, I'm going to use underline option, which is the third one. Underline on. I'm going to use the width. 50 is too much. 40. 30. Okay, 20. Choose in between 15. Don't want a gap, so 16. Okay. So I'm going to use the text color. Offset. So it's a little bit too dark, this green, so I'm coming back here, double click this underline scale and come to the color. So I'm going to use the tint 20%. Okay. Yeah, there is also overprint stroke. Don't forget to choose that. So I'm saying okay. So then this little paragraph was highlighted by this, using this light screen color and adding the ruler on top and bottom. So if the same thing, we are going to just apply, for instance, this 13. So I'm going to highlight just this 13. So I'm going to use, instead of a paragraph style, I'm going to use a character style. Because if I apply paragraph style, the whole thing belongs to this is going to be applied the same stuff. So I only want to highlight this and come to character style. The same thing, Alt and Option click. I'm going to use this as underline. So I'm come to underline and choose the, I believe the one we use is 16. And the color, we use this green, we use the 80%, and overprint, we use the offset. -2, okay, -3, okay, -4, I like this better. You can have the gap colors, so I'm just going to ignore here this, and I say okay. So it's a little too dark, and come back here and double click underline option. So I'm going to change this to 20%. Okay, so it's the same effect as the paragraph style, but it's only applied to the characters. If I, for instance, I select this somewhere, okay, garden players. So I click this underline on the character style is applied. So I'm going to choose another one, which is Forest Hill Garden Players and performing what if. Okay, so those are applied character style. So I'm not, I just want to change this to none because I want to just emphasize what if. So this part is using the shading, and this part was using the underline. Okay, so that's the different little underline and shading, and also this is the character using the underline style. So last week we also learned wrapping. Okay, the text wrapping. Let me save this as today's date. 13, yeah, 12, 13, yeah, on the desktop. And we also learned the text wrap. If you don't have it on the Windows, it will go down here. It should be text wrap, and pull out from there and put on your panels. So we use this text wrap. We use this wrap around the object shape, and there are a lot of options here. You can push just nothing on the left and the right, just the top and the bottom, or you can just push to the write all the text all on the above. So what I'm going to do is I want to Apple C. I want to cut this. So I'm going to move this to the second page. Okay, so it's bring together the text wrap around it. So I'm going to insert. It's not only this text wrap happen on the text between text relationship. It's also happened when it's doing the image with the text, which is used quite often. Okay, so I'm going to right now insert image. So I'm coming to my Photoshop. Okay, I'm coming to the folders which contains all those images, which is garden players. Okay, CS242. InDesign. I think all the images is inside week 5. So I'm going to see. Okay, this one. Images, I have this little thing. So I'm going to change to CMYK. Keep the size. Okay, image size 300, but I'm changing this to 4. The original picture is downloaded from internet, so you can see the blurry like a pixel-ish, but that's what we have, so we got to use this. Say okay, and then same as give the name what if. Instead of JPEG, I'm using the PSD file. Okay, then I come to my InDesign. So I'm going to use a rectangular frame tool. You can use any frame tool you want. Ellipse tool, polygon frame tool, is up to you. So I'm going to draw a frame here. I'm going to place this CS 242. Okay, we find images. What if? Okay, put it here. So I'm going to say ask this to fit content proportionally. Okay. And then double click that and ask the frame to fit on the content. And then while I finish this, so I'm selecting this and hold down shift and select the text. So I'm going to use this wrap around the bounding box, or using this wrap around the object shape. Up to you which one you feel you want to use. So notice it's pushed things around. Okay. This and say slight from span, large area. Okay. If I choose this one, so you can see all the text around this image, left and right has nothing. If I choose this, everything behind underneath the image is all gone. It's pushed into the second page. See, it's second page. But what we want, if you choose the first one, there is nothing is overlapping. Okay, there is no text wrap. So what I'm going to do is this large area. Okay. And then after this, you can select this image itself, and then I'm going to add this space around it. Okay, that is how you insert image and use the text wrap options for this. So right now I want to actually add a frame to this image. So I'm going to choose 3. I'm going to choose a style like a double. Okay, I'm going to choose little tinted. No. Is choose from here. Okay, number 60. That's good enough. And I save this. And shift W, we're going to look at the presentation view. It looks like this. Alright, so I noticed that there are something here looks a little too busy, so I'm going to get rid of some styles. For instance, this, I'm not going to, I'm just saying, okay, basic paragraph. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to select this. Okay, everything is back to normal. And this, there is another highlight here, shading highlight. So I'm going to use eyedropper to select that. Okay. So I feel like I don't want this to be here. I can just move this image anywhere I want this to be. Okay. Pretty much That's the insert image. And now I need to fix this. It looks like this heading 2 has some offset. So I want to push to the top. 15, maybe I change to 20. Okay. Okay, that's better. Yep. Okay, so now I'm happy with this result. And next thing, what I want to do is, on this page, I'm going to insert another image, which we come to Photoshop, File, Open. There is image we need to use the layer mask thing we learned, which is, let me find that image. Oh, here, yeah, screenshot. Okay. So on here, I'm going to use this, we call them magic lasso tool, is right underneath the lasso tool, hidden on here. So I'm going to carefully draw a selection around this. Okay, and if you need to add some selection, you can hold down the shift and select here, select here, this. Okay, after you're done with this, there is one called the refine edge. Make sure it's still selected. Click the refine edge. Okay. Going to do around it. It wouldn't look like it's a Photoshop cutting. Alright, and make sure you click that one and say okay. So basically it looks like this. If you are happy with the result, so we are going to come to layer and say layer mask, apply. Okay, and then we don't need this original image. You can see delay, and then we save this, save as the PSD file, Photoshop file, contain the transparent background, and I will say give a name, thinner, and say okay. See? And then we come to InDesign. We're going to use a place. Click this thinner and say open. So I'm going to put her right here. At a corner. So I'm going to select the don't cover the page number. Going to put her right on the span with this. Going to select the text and her together, and text wrap. I'm going to click that wrap. I'm going to ask to find large area and bouncing box, detective edge. So what happened is, look, this text is working around this shape of the image. So I use the contour option, type detect edge. Okay. Also, if you want to set up this, move a little bit more, you can do that. So Shift W, and we're going to see, and I will say maybe I should facing her. Yeah, I think that's okay. Let her stay here. Maybe I add some more paragraph this way. She can be pushed to the. So I see there is a hidden text here because I don't have a text box on the next page. Going to Apple C, Apple E. I'm going to T, Apple A, delete all the text from here. Then I'm coming to my text box from this side. I'm going to click this, make text thread. Okay, so this will become here. So I need creating more paragraph. Lost. To adding more paragraph, even from the first page. This way. Okay, this way we got some text here. So the ideal situation is if we have more text, she can move here, and also you can see the wrapping text from here. But unfortunately, we only have this text right now, so we just play around here. All right. So for this lesson, we learned set up character style and using the underline. We also learned how to insert the text wrap image, and which detect if you have a transparent background, the text is going to wrap around image. Okay, if you don't have the transparent background, the text is going to be just a wrap around the image like a square or the shape you want this to